Marcus Böckermann played a long time with Abatska on the World Tour, but he won his first World Tour event earlier on in the year in Fazal, and his younger partner, Lars Flüggen, the 25-year-old, was asked serious questions of his ability earlier on this morning, and he came through with flying colours. Sided out well and made some miraculous recoveries in defence. It's Dalhausser and Lucena up against Böckermann and Flüggen for gold in XIAMEN. Böckermann decides to go on two. First up, catches Lucena and Dalhausser cold. Goes out the back, but does take a touch off of Dalhausser's big height. And very effective block. Be a key to this game, that's for sure. How will Germany cope with Dalhausser's service pressure and his presence at the net? Lucena makes his first kill of the men's final with a cruisy high line. That is Nick Lucena doing exactly what Nick Lucena does best. Dalhausser starts with a big one from the baseline, but Flüggen is well in system and somehow just hustles one through Dalhausser's block. He's not quite formed at the net. A bit uncharacteristic for the thin beast. It's a fantastic set from Dalhausser, who's falling to one side, somehow manages to stay balanced in the air as he's falling. Puts up a fantastic set for Lucena, who does the rest and just turns it back to the line. Flüggen wearing what has become a very familiar hat to the World Tour. Finds a very good angle before he serves, and then he almost serves under the net, Lars Flüggen. It's a little bit of a rare sight to see. And we're at threes. Another key component to this performance will be how Nick Lucena can side out. A lot relies on his pass, and he has been passing very well, Nick Lucena. Again, they're bringing Flüggen through the middle of the USA. It's off the head of Dalhausser and out the back. Flüggen has started this final as he finished the semi-final in 100% rhythm. His timing's good, he's high. That's Flüggen off the head and out of bounds of Dalhausser. It's the Germans that take first blood and the first end. The German pairing coming past the Latvians. They weren't the favourites to beat Smedins and Samoilovs in the semi-final, Flüggen and Böckermann, but they played ever so well to come back from 1-0 down. Oh, Dalhausser with the dunk. The thin beast has arrived here in XIAMEN, waiting on his prey, going late in the block, and then dunking the ball straight down. Lucena is back as quick as he can to serve. True Nick Lucena fashion, trying to get back to the baseline as quick as possible. Physicality shown from Böckermann this time, a change in the tactics from the USA after going after Flüggen early on. They've changed up to Böckermann. No joy that time. It's a good pass from Lucena. They're well in system here, the USA, and should side out. Good vision from Lucena that sees Lars Flüggen just change his starting position on the cross court to take the line. Just drops the ball on the angle, and it's good enough to take another point for the USA. Intriguing start to this one, both teams siding out. more power from Dalhausser. Böckermann has a look. One-handed defense is good from Lucena. He now has a chance to transition, and he shapes it the wrong side of the sideline. We saw a fantastic final in Long Beach between Dalhausser and Lucena against, well, currently the world's best team, Alisson and Bruno, that went all the way. It's a defensive battle between Lucena and Bruno in a game. That one just misses the sideline. That is growing in physicality. The likes of Lucena and Bruno, both at 6'1", show that the smaller man can still have lots of success. Dalhausser makes his second kill block, this time off the harder hit, so he has to go early, form his hands, and gets the kill block that he's after here, Dalhausser. Lucena teeing it up from the baseline. Dalhausser finishing the plays off at the net. More joy for Dalhausser. This time he sees the second touch knuckle coming from Flüggen. Lights out from Phil Dalhausser. 2 blocks in 2 plays from the thin beast. Puts the USA in firm control of the first set. We see a hat-trick from Dalhausser. Böckermann is under all sorts of pressure. This time he goes back to power. Does touch the block of Dalhausser. But unfortunately for Big Phil, takes a chip off the block and flies out the back of the court. It's a vicious serve from Flüggen. Flat ball floating, always dropping at speed to the left of Dalhausser, but unfortunately for him, does go the wrong side of that sideline. Dalhausser, who takes everything in his stride, goes back to serve from this central position. Böckermann with 2 side outs and 2 balls. No defending that one for Lucena. It's a tough school, the German school of beach volleyball nowadays. To come through, Erdmann and Matzik, main German team for a while. Binscheif and Fuchs, a new team from Germany. Phil Dalhausser doing what Dalhausser does best and just wrapping his wrist around that one, guiding it towards the side of the court. Volkenhorst and Wickler, new team as well after Volkenhorst and Binscheif split earlier on in the year. These two, a very strong product of what is a tough, tough smart tour. Wide again from Böckermann. It's Böckermann that's really felt the heat in the early stages of this one. When you get blocked out a couple of times in a row from Phil Dalhausser, your confidence does take a blow. This time he takes pace off the ball, and the cut shot is effective. So at the technical timeout, it's Lucena and Dalhausser that are in charge of this final, 12-9. As competitive as the Smart Tour is in Germany, the AVP is just as competitive in the United States.
Aufschlag und Abwehr, ne?
Dalhausser taking a quick sip, recharging for the second half of this first set. Dalhausser must feel that he has Böckermann somewhat in his pocket after a couple of big blocks early on. in this first set. Flüggen's unorthodox float serve again. They bring Lucena short to try and trap him underneath the block. Lucena does have to take pace off the ball, but it's quite an exquisite cut shot that's fast and furious across the front of the net. Nothing that Flüggen can do here. He's parked up still, but he's at full stretch and he's just out of reach. He does well to stay low and scamper across the sand, but as I said, it's just a little bit too far away from Flüggen. 4-point game with Dalhausser with an opportunity here to put this set out of reach from Germany. This time Flüggen with the spiking error. Thing that Phil Dalhausser does well is he brings service pressure from the baseline, but not only is it hard to pass Dalhausser's jump serves because of the speed and the momentum that he creates, but then he runs into block and his timing and his line so good that once you do pass the ball, it's hard to get round him to side out anyway. Dalhausser misses out on this occasion, but they won't mind too much. It's still a 4-point game with Böckermann, the German blocker, to serve next. It's 2 in a row for Germany. See how much pressure they can put Lucena and Phil Dalhausser under. Dalhausser the target. Oh, what a dig that is from Flüggen. Now he has a chance to transition. He's off the net though, and he fires well long, and he's frustrated. His reaction said it all. Dalhausser knows that they're let off the hook that time from what was a phenomenal dig from Lars Flüggen. Just parks, puts the handbrake on, gets underneath the ball and just scoops it up in the air from big Phil Dalhausser. I don't think he was expecting that one. Flüggen can't make any more errors in offense. This time he does find the sideline. You can see coach Paul Baxter in the stands, speaking to Baxter earlier, asking him about Nick Lucena. Find it hard to believe that he's never won on the World Tour. As coach said, I'm sure if he keeps knocking, someone will answer. That's very much the case of Lucena's character as he shoots high line. There's a 4-point game to the advantage of the USA. They lead Germany here 16-12. Quite a few spiking errors from the Germans have been costly so far, but they've served well the USA. Flüggen again off the net, struggling to track the ball. Doesn't struggle too much though, as a little bit of finesse on that high line from Lars Flüggen. Lucena in a good zone here, well off the net, but loves that angle from the inside position. Four points will do it, 17-13. It was all about the start of the set. They led, I think, 13-8 at the technical timeout. Böckermann does go over the top of Dalhausser, maybe. It's high, it takes another deflection. He's got 3 or 4 wipes off Dalhausser. In this first set. Dalhausser this time from a more central area. It's a big angle, steep from Phil Dalhausser. Goofy footed approach. And the hammer down the line from Dalhausser means that himself and Lucena are just 3 away. Dalhausser hasn't won on the FIVB World Tour this season, which is very, very strange. That's another big blow from the baseline. Unorthodox from Dalhausser with the left hand. Goofy swing from Phil. And they are sprinting away with this one. The Germans, though, they have to get hold of the jerseys of the USA and keep pulling, trying to get momentum to get back into this one. They've been relentless, Dalhausser and Lucena, in this opener. Fortunately, this one squeezed wide. Some discussions going on between Flüggen and Böckermann. Anything they can do to gain some confidence and some momentum for the second set will do them just fine at the moment. But Lucena is unstoppable. Two big angle swings we've seen from him. We know that he likes a high line. Nick Lucena, he likes trapping his feet inside the ball, rolling high. But he also swings hard, sharp on the angle, and he does have a good seam swing as well. Set point to the USA, 2015. What has been one-way traffic so far in this men's gold medal match from XIAMEN. Lucena with the serve, Flüggen from the right side. Just slices one down the line. Goes past the block of Dalhausser. Too little, too late maybe from Germany, but they will take any chance they can to gain rhythm for the second set. Change up here. Flüggen's going to jump serve, and it's a poor slice jump serve. First set goes to Dalhausser and Lucena. They've been in unstoppable form. Dalhausser firing up at the net in the block. Lucena siding out very, very consistently. They take the first set here from China, 21-16. Böckermann and Flüggen, they need to tighten up their pass and make less hitting errors if they want to get back into this men's final. Dalhausser in your screen, 5 times best blocker on the World Tour, 5 times best hitter, 4 times best defensive player, and 5 times best setter. 29 gold medals, looking to make a 30th here. One of the best, if not the best player. Certainly this generation, if not ever. Böckermann and Flüggen, well, they need to tidy their side of things up a little bit if they want to take their second gold. A silver in Rio a couple of weeks ago. Just shows how competitive this World Tour is. They've taken a second in the Rio Open, the first in Fazal Open, but then in the Grand Slams, they've, apart from Long Beach where they took a 5th, good start from Lucena. Apart from Long Beach where they took a 5th, they've struggled to get past the 17th in the Grand Slams. Böckermann and Flüggen, the Opens have really been their baby and where they've performed very well. Ball from the pin, Böckermann, the turn and chase from Lucena is good, but he can only get the ball over on that touch. And again, that's twice we've seen it, once from the baseline when he's serving, and then trying to play a short line Flüggen, the hand contact just isn't clean from the German defender. Böckermann's brought in fairly short, so it's harder to approach. Lucena reacts phenomenally well, as does Flüggen. It's tight. It's a lift. Oh, it drops in off the tape. Miraculous play from Germany. Both teams scurrying hard in defense. Initially Lucena, but then Flüggen with a little bit of great defense of his own. Full stretch right side dive, but then that set from Böckermann got the ball close to the net, and everybody thought Flüggen had too much to do, but somehow the knuckle finds the tape. Maybe that's a little bit of a push that this German team needed to establish themselves in this match. Shorter set from Dalhausser, and a quick whippet of a shot across the court from Lucena. Huge points for both of these teams trying to qualify a berth for the Olympic Games. Dalhausser with an ace this time. Dalhausser being Dalhausser-esque. Just rocket launches from the back line. Dalhausser having split with Sean Rosenthal a couple of months ago, teaming up with Nick Lucena, trying to qualify a berth, but it's going to be tough for this American team with Hayden and Scott, Jake Gibb and Casey Patterson. 3 teams really going for possibly 2 spots. Flüggen screaming, almost screeching with frustration of missing another serve. Understand, you play some good side-out play and then miss serves in sloppy fashion. Really takes your foot off the gas, releases the pressure on the opposition. Böckermann again struggling with his pass. He's well off the net, so Dalhausser breaks. It's a one-handed dig from Dalhausser, who now has to turn and spike. It's a big swing from Dalhausser that just lands long. Rosenthal and Brunner. Brunner, who got 4th at the World Champs, as that one was well out from Dalhausser. Brunner and Lucena took a 4th at the World Champs before Lucena trading in to play with Dalhausser. Missing out this week again in the pool stages, not winning a game. Bit of a frustrating week for Rosenthal and Theo Brunner, I'm sure. The other American team from Hawaii. Hawaiian 5-0 of Trevor and Taylor Crabb, who have had some good performances on the AVP. Took a 9th here this week. Flüggen has a good look. Hat is off now from Flüggen. Just a rotten swing, that one. Powerful, crushing blow from Lars Flüggen. Dalhausser's called short from Lucena. Does well to get his approach. Is there a touch off the block, maybe? No touch off the block of Böckermann. So it's a good phase of the game, this, for the Germans. It's a big deflection off of the net. No touch from Böckermann. Big, big phase of this men's final game. Wide area, opens up the angle, but Flüggen matches Dalhausser in every single way and then out-jousts him as well. Flüggen's point of the match. The ball's wide, so it really does open up the angle for Dalhausser. And after digging Phil Dalhausser, Lars Flüggen produces that joust. He may only be 6'4", Flüggen, compared to Dalhausser's 6'9", but he really out-jousted him there. And then he's really fired up. Flüggen, Dalhausser's reaction's phenomenal. But Flüggen, this is his stage of the game as Germany take the lead for the first time in a long time here in XIAMEN. Maybe the tables are starting to turn. Flüggen is starting to make digs. And you can see that he is well and truly pumped up. More short balls on Dalhausser. Is that a double touch called against Nick Lucena? Has a little look at the referee, but then doesn't complain. Double touch called when the handset isn't clean from the setter. Maybe his right hand pushing through a little bit more than his left. A little bit of frustration and a little bit of a lazy look from Lucena towards the first referee, but nothing given towards him. It was a double touch, so point Germany. 2 points now. Bump set from Lucena. Bounced from Dalhausser. It's good. Approaches in on an angle. His shoulders facing down the angle. Makes the defender stay with him. And then beats him to his left side. Interesting from Nick Lucena to have to bump set the second ball after the first one being called. Slightly out of time there, Böckermann, but leaning to the left side, so not vertical, not going through the ball. just hitting hard on the angle, and it's taken a deflection off of Dalhausser on the way through. More blocking this time from Böckermann, who's out blocking Dalhausser in the second set. There's a spiking error from Lucena. The tables are turning here in XIAMEN. Timeout called from Lucena and Dalhausser, who must be feeling the pressure. After storming through the first set, good plays from Flüggen in defense. Böckermann presenting himself as a presence at the net. Dalhausser and Lucena are struggling to find an answer here in XIAMEN. Flüggen and Böckermann, much more, you can see in their body language, they are much more into this set than they were the last. Gaining in confidence. Böckermann especially, a lot more upright in the chest during that timeout, clapping his hands. Teams come back onto court. The important thing for Lucena and Dalhausser is to not let this German team run away too much before the technical timeout. Luckily for them, the timeout was a good one, as Flüggen's concentration is lacking, and he fires out the back. 10-8. With Dalhausser in your locker, he could produce some gold from the service line and make 2 points very quickly. It's not an ace, but they do get the dig, and Lucena from the right side, knuckles high line. That's one back for the USA. There's been some controversial handling from Phil Dalhausser. I wouldn't want to doubt Big Phil, but he does well to get round it. His balance is on the right foot and just pushes round the ball to set Lucena, who high knuckles the rest of the point. Flüggen. 2 digs in a row from Lucena. Can he convert 2 in a row? Yes, he can. Oh, no way. Everyone, including myself, thought that one was out. Dalhausser wondering whether to chase that one or not. Was that the wind? Dalhausser tracking it all the way out, and the ball just drifting back into the court. It's a swirling wind in here. That's a crazy play from Germany, but now they get a dig, so a chance to extend their lead again. Lucena with a fantastic set, and Dalhausser does the rest. But Nick Lucena fully on the turn, 180 degrees to pop that one up. Nick Lucena turns, full stretch dive, right wrist underneath the ball, pops it up, and Dalhausser, with no block, has no respect. Said it was important for Germany not to pull away to the technical timeout, and they definitely haven't. From 10-7 up, it's Germany that still lead, but only by 1.
Thank you, cheerleaders. 感谢沙滩保卫们的精彩表演。
Still can't quite get over the play 2 points ago, where Dalhausser left the ball that was destined to be out, that just swirled in. Flüggen, who has played very well as of late. The high roller down the line. Dalhausser and Lucena received a wild card for Fort Lauderdale for the World Tour Finals next week in Florida. Florida, both of their hometown. Lucena and Dalhausser. Huge, what a chase from Flüggen. He is a powerful man, Phil Dalhausser. Using all 6'9" of his frame through that one. Timing was good, his body weight going through the ball, high arms, snap of the wrist. Back at 1, and Germany will want to side out here and get Phil Dalhausser away from the service line. Nice setting again from Böckermann, but he's off the net, and Lucena parks and makes a great bit of defense, and then follows it up with precision in offense. Lucena, he's got power, and now we see placement as well from the American defender. Jumping in on the angle there, Böckermann. Going late, trying to get his hands across the opponent's body. And we're tied again at 12s. Huge part of this game coming up right now. It's long from Dalhausser though. This mid part of the set is going to give us a very good indication to whether the USA will win 2-0 and walk away with the gold, the first for Nick Lucena, or whether this German pairing will take their second gold of the season. That is Nick Lucena doing exactly what we love to see Nick Lucena do. Quick feet, high arm, and just rotates his body slightly for the high line. Frustrations for Flüggen, because I think Flüggen saw that one coming but decided to wait and park on the angle. Both players chasing around. Dalhausser and Lucena are victorious though. They retake the lead. Gonna have to hang in here through this stage. It's not been the German stage for Böckermann and Flüggen. Stage of the game. But they're just gonna have to keep hanging in there with their American opponents who've got the momentum here. Ace from Lucena. Flüggen is calling the referee off the stand because he is sure that it's out, but he's not getting the decision that he wants. Frustration for Flüggen and for Böckermann, because after being in quite the commanding lead at 10-7, I think, they're now 15-13 down. Lucena with the high serve, just dropping in the wind and clipping the back line. This time he goes for the flat, faster one, but doesn't prevail for the USA. It's a wonderful pass from Dalhausser. Establishing his hard angle this time. Ricochet off the block of Böckermann. You know this team are playing well when the opposition have to go after Dalhausser to try and get some points. Dalhausser and Lucena are lighting up this final now. Big celebrations for Lucena because he knows that that's a huge point to go 3 points up at this stage. Doesn't quite seal it for the USA, but it does make them big, big favourites. Germans have to take a timeout because they can see this game running away from them here in XIAMEN. After a poor start to this set, big comeback for Lucena and Dalhausser. Lucena sweeping up just past Dalhausser. Dalhausser doing his job, slowing the game down for Lucena. Can't get the kill block, that's the next best thing. Slow the game down and allow your partner to sweep around you. Last chance saloon for the team in your picture, discussing tactics, discussing ways to get themselves back into this game. This could be the closing stages of the 6th FIVB World Tour Open of the year here. XIAMEN with Fort Lauderdale next week. Antalya, Porto Vallarta, and Doha left. Still a lot of volleyball to be had in a calendar that is increasing every year with more and more events. It's Flüggen's high line that's joyful for the Germans. Can the USA hold their nerve inside out and secure what would be a first World Tour victory for Nick Lucena? Goofy swing from Dalhausser, and you can see they're sensing it now. Dalhausser, not always the loudest customer, celebrating that one fiercely with Nick Lucena, who is fired up because he can smell his first World Tour victory. Off the head, and that's a huge chase from Nick Lucena. Always hard for a defender to chase one that takes a quick touch off the block. We said earlier Dalhausser was slowing the game down, but that time wasn't quite a thick enough connection, especially off the shoulder or the head. Every point counts so much at this stage of the set. He's sending the target, passes as well as he has all week long. Flüggen matches the high line though. Now he has a chance to convert. Lucena with an outrageous set. Dalhausser. There's a one-handed dig from Böckermann. Fantastic set from Flüggen, but he can only find Lucena, who now has a chance to take them closer to a gold medal. And it is Lucena who has the last laugh for what was one of the most epic rallies of the entire tournament. Both teams giving 110%. The set from Lucena and from Flüggen were world class. But that swing from Böckermann just into the comfort zone of Lucena, who does the rest in offense. It's a 3-point game. 2 more for the USA will secure the gold medal. Net touch against Dalhausser. Frustration from him. Shrug of the shoulders and asking what I think was the words from his mouth. But they'll know, as long as they can keep focus on their own game and what they have to do to side out, then they should be fine here. Dalhausser was also called for a net touch in the Long Beach final against Bruno. It was a little bit harsh and it really did affect the game. Touches from Flüggen. Hard defense from Lucena, who now is blocking with no defense. Dalhausser having to chase that one. He does chase down the line, Phil Dalhausser. That's a rare sight. Phil Dalhausser chasing down a high line and then converting from the right side. Dalhausser guessing really on that one and just chasing down the line shot. Perfect defense all the same, and it's set and match point. And it's fitting that Nick Lucena, who has won 6 silver medals on the World Tour, is serving to win his first ever gold medal. It's tight. It's a possible double touch, and it is a double touch from Böckermann. Gold for Lucena and Dalhausser. Dalhausser takes his first gold of 2015, and Nick Lucena takes his first World Tour gold medal ever. The 36-year-old, who has been one of the best players in the world for a long, long time, finally gets the gold medal that many think he deserves. His coach said he's been knocking on the door for a long, long time, and finally someone has to answer, and today they have for Nick Lucena, with 2 runners-ups. The USA team of Nick Lucena and Phil Dalhausser finally get their first gold medal as a team, and in 2015 winning 21-16, 21-17. There was a couple of scary moments for the Americans, especially in the second set, but overall they dominated Böckermann and Flüggen, who will be happy with their week's work. Back-to-back silver medals for them in Rio and now in XIAMEN. just lacked a little bit in consistency at times. We see some highlights from what was a highly entertaining men's gold medal match. Flüggen at the start of the second set was unstoppable. The USA didn't have an answer, and that was one of the digs that early on in that second set. Full stretch diving to the right-hand side. Flüggen, who is improving daily at this game, getting better and better in defense and inside out. Lucena was as consistent as he has been all weekend, showing good variation in shot selection. He's got the high line nailed down, but he's also a force on the angle as well. Dalhausser making aces and kill blocks, but Laura, especially in the first set. One of the best points. Big Phil showing how agile he is on the turn, falling backwards, still managing to find a kill, and that is the smile on Nick Lucena's face as he wins his first gold medal. As I think we are about to head down courtside to hear from our gold medalists, Nick Lucena and Phil Dalhausser.
I think the first set went really well for us. We played really well. Second set, I had about 4 or 5 bad points there, and was able to work through it. And Nick made some plays at the end, and we ended up winning.
How are you going to celebrate tonight?
Not too much. We have to play Tuesday in Fort Lauderdale, but we got a long flight tomorrow, and then we got to try and. I'll celebrate when the season's over for sure. But I'm very excited, and I'm grateful. So.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The gold medalists, Phil Dalhausser and Nick Lucena. Dalhausser, who has won an FIVB World Tour event every year for the past 10 seasons, and Lucena winning his first ever World Tour event in what is a fantastic occasion. They're good friends off the court, and now they've won their first gold medal as a team here at the XIAMEN Open. Big things wait for this team as they go on to Fort Lauderdale, as you could hear. Nick Lucena say that they have to play on Tuesday in Fort Lauderdale in the World Tour Finals. So they have to fly the other side of the world. They'll be home for a day before they start in Florida on Tuesday. Just waiting for proceedings to start for the awards ceremony. We're not far away at all. Dalhausser and Lucena coming past Plavins and Rejka in the semi-final. Grant O'Dorman and Sam Pedlow from Canada, qualifying team who played very well this week, making a 5th. Venezuela, France, Belarus and Austria all fell to the champions this week. Dalhausser, originally born in Switzerland before moving out to Florida, now resides, as does Nick Lucena, in California. Lucena originally from Florida as well, so next week will be a little bit of a homecoming for both of the gold medalists from XIAMEN this week. been a fantastic journey that Nick Lucena has been on to reach this gold medal. Playing with Sean Scott, Matt Thurbringer, who's now the indoor assistant coach for the US team, just missing out on the Olympics in 2020.